Hello, and for the first time, we are finally live on the Otter WX YouTube account covering a severe weather chance for across Middle Tennessee. This is our first one, and hopefully not the last. If you would please give me a moment to set some stuff up really quick. I'm gonna share this. Get ready to share this, so please give me a few moments. Do not mind. Sorry about that. Please, I am very sorry for my thing going on. I'm messaging a few friends really quick. There we go. Should be good. Not need to do that. Weather. There we go. As hello, we are finally back and back at it again. I'm finally here to show my full attention to the stream. Hello, Braun went to Philly, Tyrone. That is true. Braun did go to Philly. All right, let's go over the setup really quickly, if you don't mind. We're gonna go through this. Currently, we have a slight 2 out of 5 risk for the majority of the mid-state. As currently, we have a line moving right through Murray, Hopkinsville, and it cuts off really right around Bowling Green. As that is where our line and our storms have significantly weakened. As you can see here, we have this missing batch of storms here, which will be interesting because when we look at our models in our past HRRR, we'll go 18Z earlier, put this into motion. I went a little too far. If we go back to our 18Z earlier today and put it into motion, it had a line coming in around 4 a.m. CST. 4 a.m. CST. However, it was again forecasting these batch of storms, which we have right now, to kind of die out a little bit. So this is one of the things we have with this is we have this line of storms moving through right now. As you can see, hopefully it'll load. Go to satellite, to radar. So we have this line of storms right now moving through with the severe thunderstorm warning for Robertson, Montgomery, and parts of eastern Stewart County. Main threats with this is I believe it is just a regular severe thunderstorm warning. Yes, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, which is radar indicated, and hail under a 3 force. As you can see out in front of these storms, as they're expected to kind of maintain strength somewhat, we have our brand new, within the past 45 minutes, severe thunderstorm watch. Hi, Jalen. Thank you. This first stream, obviously. Moderate 60% for wind. Low, very low tornado threats. We have a 0 for EF2 plus, and just our regular tornado odds are very low. Again, as we are watching these storms, let's go over the models, especially the latest HRRRs. I have not been able to look at it. So, composite reflectivity has these cells up there kind of going through. How does that impact the later storms? See, it kind of compresses it off to the west. I'm not sure about what will really happen here. This will be interesting. But it kind of suppresses, in which this scenario, Okay, it still keeps our severe threat tomorrow, as this is interesting. Wow, pretty robust through St. Louis. But over the past, let's go 18Z run, I believe it didn't have really any storms at scattered showers, as it had this weird setup of these storms that we have right now, even farther east, and this kind of messy setup, which there's a lot of rain, which milked the atmosphere for instability, which kept that our severe threat tomorrow, which is only a 1 out of 5, to very minimum. As you can see, kept it very low, and there wouldn't be a severe threat. But as we look at QHX, yeah, we have pockets of wind right near just south of Trenton, near Allensville. Storm again is expected to continue to drop south. It might end up, the severe winds might end up grazing at Nashville, but currently, if you're in Paris, Huntington, Lexington, part of the western portions of the severe watch, I would be watching this cell back here, which is still pretty juiced, too. As earlier, let's see, yeah, some pretty gusty winds reported. So let's swap to this. Ooh, you can see that perfectly. You have that outflow boundary right here. That outflow boundary released by the storms right here, which could affect the inflow. Something to see later. See if there's any other information on these cells out here. I do kind of want to glance up to our north. And today's risk up north just kind of... Did I already miss? I definitely missed the main threat. Hold on. It's definitely just a later. I'm a little off track, sorry guys, but yeah, I guess it's for that right there. Okay. Oh, and we're looking at old. Hold on. New run. Yeah, I guess it is for that. Thank you, Camp, for the chicken earlier. Just saw that now. Let's try and request a sounding out in front of this to see what our environment looks like. Okay. So obviously, this is what I posted about earlier on my Twitter account. We have a lot of instability right now. 4,000, and even the in the mesoscale discussion earlier, they said, and this is obviously true with this, CAPE values up to 4,500, which is pretty unusual here, but not typically unusual just for Nashville, but not really in the summertime. Let's take a look at this. Put this radar in motion. Storm is about to impact Clarksville again. Gusty winds are the main threat with this, as we're watching just along this this leading band. We have some gusty winds. Yeah, 40, 47. Some pretty gusty winds. I won't be surprised if those are higher, as our readings are a little bit different. Tight. Again, it's this storm right here is dropping. You can kind of see, if I go back, you see this line right here. That is our boundary, which could end up meeting, or this storm right here. So you just start spewing out these outflow boundaries, which could end up in turn creating storms just in all around this boundary. Let's see how them collide to later on down the road. We still have our severe thunderstorm watch. This one, let's see. Again, some decently gusty winds with these cells. Something keep out. I will definitely be interested to see again how these cells and this like complex of storms will end up impacting our potential later threat. And there we have it, a brand new severe thunderstorm warning, hot off the press for Stewart County, as this line is expected to continue push to the south, bringing gusty winds. And another one just right there for what looks like Henry County, I believe. Henry and portions of Benton County is what that looks like right there. Again, main threat with that 60-mile-an-hour winds, under 3/4 inch hail. So again, these lines is moving through this severe thunderstorm warning for, what is that again? That is Robertson and Montgomery counties in effect for another 24 minutes. Oh, that also includes parts of Robertson too. This severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for another 24 minutes. It's newer one, 39, and this also newer one, 54 minutes. So this is ahead. This portion of the storm will drop. This portion of the storm. This portion. Excuse me for great post here from Nash Severe WX as they just tweeted out regarding, and this is just with the models, they have been all over the place today. Again, just all over the place. And recently, these storms up here weren't expected to be as strong and as long lasting as they really have been. And this has led again to more uncertainty with these storms as, again, the models have been incredibly inconsistent today. As again, this will be interesting to see what this does to our environment for the potential for storms later up to the evening hours and early morning hours. If we had actually a gust of 70 miles an hour estimated, okay. Estimated. Okay, so we still have good instability out here at 3 Cape. Isn't great, but still decent atmosphere out there enough to sustain severe storms, especially into the overnight. We'll see though. Yes, brand new mesoscale discussion coming out here for this portion of the cell. I'll go ahead and basically map it out. Do that. It covers all throughout this portion of the storms, but it really highlights east parts of the storms from Calvert City over here and down for the greatest pocket of damaging winds as they're estimating peak probable wind gusts 55 to 70 miles an hour. And that looks to be our only threat with these storms at this moment, which is good to see that there's really not a tornado threat with this at this current moment. Wow, my drawing is bad. Should pop up momentarily here. The scale discussion. So again, really quickly. Refresh. So it is unfortunately not popping up. I'm gonna show it here really quick. As you can see, we have our biggest chance of damaging winds in this area down towards Waverly. Nashville, Williamson County, Davidson County, all those areas is under the threat for damaging winds, but it hasn't as peak and as greatest is this line, as you can see right here. Again, extending from around Murray to Clarksville and almost to Springfield. We'll say Springfield. There it is. There's our mesoscale. Again, damaging wind gusts remain the peak concern. A couple may reach 55 to 70 mile an hour. Yeah, cold pool driven MCS will dive south. Not much has changed with this. It stayed fairly consistent with what our thinking has been over the past 3 hours. Let's look back at reflective velocity and see. Okay. Again, just some gusty winds just throughout these lines, especially. Curious. Really quick. Then let me find this town. Yeah. Again, just some gusty winds out here out ahead of this line. Pockets definitely damaging winds. It's not as more of a widespread event. It's more of an isolated damaging wind event again. And you can just still see these boundaries being thrown out ahead of these storms. It'd be interesting to see if we get something around here. We will see. Sorry as I'm being kind of quiet here. This is just me trying to get something done really quick. Again, as we're just watching this line of storms slowly progress to the south, more mainly just now south, as earlier these storms, if we go back and look, these storms are moving more south-southeast, as you can see right about here, more south-southeast, and they kind of just started diving south at this point, and they're continuing to slowly progress south as this storm is right over Clarksville at this point. As you can see, some gusty winds around Clarksville and to the south and southeast. Definitely something to watch. Pockets of heavier wind. 49, 51. As I do believe these are stronger, especially at the surface. Yes, definitely at the surface. They're stronger. So that is why we have a severe warning again back with this cell. pretty similar story, just some pockets of gusty winds here. Some pockets. And main threat with this is strong damaging winds. Kind of waiting to get some new information on with the NWS and what they're saying is a likely. Yeah, this is a pretty typical northwest flow event. As you can see, our storms. Yes, definitely. Very interesting here again as our storm is trying to catch up to this boundary, especially back over here. And if we've looked kind of over this section of the storm, it's kind of gotten stronger, especially back, and it's kind of back belt more over this period. All right, not mean to do that. But again, yes, severe thunderstorm warning for Montgomery, Roberts, into Stewart, parts of Robertson, Montgomery, and Stewart County, over into Murray and very part of Benton counties. These are all in effect. This one's in effect for another 13 minutes, 28, and this one's 43, a lot longer than the others. Again, we still have our severe thunderstorm watch in effect. I haven't gone over timing yet. This is in effect until 1 a.m. Central Standard Time. And now, depending on if we get storms off to our northwest, farther up into this area, and they're able to strengthen or maintain strength or whatever, they just form and they are able to strengthen quickly. That could definitely lead into us getting not only stronger storms, but the continuation of this watch, or continuation and extension of this watch. Again, I'm just kind of waiting for some more information on this. See what the National Weather Service thinks. Do want to zoom back in again to this Clarksville area, as this storm seems to be, at this point, our strongest. Yeah, again, this over here near Springfield, we have some pretty strong winds potentially reaching the surface around 50 miles an hour. Definitely could be stronger. Just all along this line, this seems to be, at this point, our strongest portions of the storm. Yes, right over here. And I would support, yeah, just some stronger ones. Let's see what KO checks, please. Yeah, this isn't as good of a view into it as it is farther than the Clarksville radar. The Hopkinsville, sorry. Again, yeah, just all along this. Some gusty winds. Again, this is warned for 60-mile-an-hour wind gust. So definitely something to watch. Let's put this into motion. Now, this part of the cell is what could hit Nashville. As you can see, it's moving that direction. It's this part over here is what was originally mainly warned, but we are watching this portion now, which could get extended into something somewhat. If it does get extended for a severe thunderstorm warning, it would look something like, definitely not as big. And I kind of cherry picked that towards Nashville. Kind of cherry picked that towards Nashville, but we'll see. Still trying to get used to weather front as I've used more radar scope and weather wise for my things over the past little bit. Used to that. Again, just along this front, some gusty winds. 9 minutes left on the severe warning, so I don't think they will extend it. And what they might do is they might go ahead and send out a special weather statement. It doesn't look like they'll extend it, which let's confirm. Let's see if they're going to extend it. You will definitely hear extend it. They do. Keep watching. Trying to see if there's any information on whether they will extend this morning, as this is currently looks to be our strongest storm at the moment. But based on our atmosphere and what is going on, I believe the biggest portion and our biggest area to watch for the severe weather is really right here. And that's what exactly, I just remembered this is like exactly what the Storm Prediction Center and WS they put with theirs, which I was not intending to do. Now I think about it, but you get the gist. Again, 8 minutes left on the severe warning. If I had to guess at this point, they're going to either not put out anything or extend it with a special weather statement. Let's map this out. How far away is this from really Nashville? Still a good 30 miles from Nashville, roughly. Yeah, a good 30 miles from Nashville. So, still a good ways to go. Again, about 7 minutes left on the severe warning. 22 on this severe warning out on Stewart County. And again, 37 on the Henry and Benton County severe thunderstorm warning. Yeah, it's looked to have caught up with its boundaries somewhat. If we go, I think we can get a better view of this with Clarksville. Let's see. No, it's still out in front, but it is somewhat catching up to that, and that could impact its strength later on. Now, I'm curious to see what they do with this. Six minutes left. I'm just kind of counting down the time till we get new information on it. And again, it looks like they're going to cancel this, as they typically get one out later or earlier with this. But yeah, I mean, the same situation. Strongest part of the storm is moving into Pleasant View, Coopertown, over near State Highway 48, State Highway 13, southeast, southwest, just south of Clarksville, Dover, Big Rock, Buchanan, Puryear, Murray, and Hazel are the current towns that look to be under the biggest threat for severe. I guess not really Murray. It's surprising. Again, 5 minutes now remaining on this, as it is 9:15. Okay, brand new from the NWS update. Severe storms are now impacting the Clarksville and land between the lakes areas and are moving southward at 40 miles an hour. Strong to severe wind gusts and torrential rain are the primary threats, but these storms are producing a wicked amount of lightning. We expect areas around Erin, Waverly, Dixon, and Ashland City to be affected by these storms by 10. So for the next 8 hours. We are expecting a brand new severe thunderstorm warning coming out here now for the entirety of the Nashville metro. Dixon, White Bluff, Nashville, Brentwood, Bellevue, Kingston Springs, Ashland, Sladen, Van Leer, Pleasant View, on the edge of Henderson, Millersville, Ridgetop, Greenbrier, and I'm very expecting this to I unplugged them, so they're not going to go off, but again, hot off the press, brand new severe thunderstorm warning, including Nashville, Ashland City, White Bluff, Dixon. This is just got extended into Nashville. Sorry, I have to copy this, paste. I have to do a little bit of posting on social media. One last story should be for the night. For my local people out in Nashville, or locals. Just looking over this a little bit more, making sure I have everything correctly. If I could type. How late is this for? Till 10 p.m. Mm-hmm. I will be able to be more a little bit more work here in a minute. Ben, hello, Ben. No, there's no reason to be scared, Ben. It's okay. I'm sorry, I just saw your message. We are okay. It's just a plain old regular severe thunderstorm warning. We have these all summer long. Yes, we're gonna be okay, Ben. Gonna be okay. We carry 6. There's no reason to be too scared. Again, no reason to be too scared. Yeah, no problem. Just this is my first severe weather coverage. I'm very excited to do it as I finally have the time to. Looks like this warning back over near Stewart County has been cut back. There's not many communities that have been removed from this, but again, Maine severe with this for another 14 minutes. Big Rock right over it. Dover moving into your area within the next 5-10 minutes. Again, just gusty winds all along this front or this line. Again, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Similar thing, Paris, is we have this boundary that could bring some gusty winds along with it. And again, this is just storm near Murray is diving south towards Paris. I'm not sure. We carry 6. I just guessed your name. Back over to our main threat here with the Nashville storm. Oh, I guess. Back over here towards the Nashville storm as we have this, again, line extending as we have our outflow boundary here. That could push and bring gusty winds over to Charlotte, Van Leer, Slade, and Tennessee cities. Those are out of the warnings, but again, this could bring some gusty winds. But our main threat with this line that is moving south is gusty winds all along here. So you can see the differing colors and velocity. So anywhere in this, we could have wind gusts of 60 mile an hour, 50 to 60 mile an hour. Let's take a look. Yeah, 50s. So this is gust 40s to 50s. And again, there could be isolated 60s within this warning. So this is something we need to keep watching as it, again, is going to continue diving south. We'll go to Brentwood. So that's a great question. Brentwood is currently in the warning, and as it stands right now, the storm is moving south, which looks like it will impact Brentwood. And if it does, you shouldn't be cooked. There's, again, just a damaging wind threat with this, and the 16-mile-an-hour wind gust, it's strong, but it's not like a tornado. It's not going to cause extreme damage or just not too much like tornadic damage, like I said, sorry. I'm just going to keep watching these cells. They move south. Yeah, it's just really, our main threats here are just when there's not really a tornado threat at this time. And if there, it's not really looking like a tornado producing event. Yeah. I'm not. Yeah. Now, excuse me, I'm going to go grab some water really quick. I will be right back. Yeah, I'll be right back. All right, goodbye. We carry 6. I just took a step outside and I saw lightning in the distance and heard a little bit of thunder. As you can see on the radar, just an obscene amount of strikes over the past 20-30 minutes, especially with the storm out here near Dover, near Ashland City. Let's get some of these communities. Chapel Hill Road, Daily Down, just all throughout this area. there is a pockets of not only damaging winds, but just a heavy rain and there's near continuous lightning with these cells. Folk Valley weather coverage. Yeah, I guess. Close to it. I mean, we'll see. Let's see. I'm gonna try and make you mod, Roman. Let's do standard mod. Yeah, I just made you a moderator now. I know there's like nobody in here, but no, just for the fun of it. You are now a mod. Again, please. I mean, we have 2 watching, but please like and subscribe. Anything helps. Trying to get out to the people in need. Do severe weather coverage. This is one thing I want to do, especially later in my career, is broadcast meteorology. So please feel free. No problem, Roman WX. All right. Yeah, again, looking back at this, we have gusty winds near Ashland City, Sladen. This entire area right here along L'Enfant, this is again moving almost entirely south, right over or nearing Ashland City. These are just kind of diving south, these pockets of wind. Diving south, the strongest part of these winds should miss the Nashville metro, at least portions of it. If not, it might graze over in this area near. Let's see if there's any real communities over in here. Not really. Maybe Western Bellevue might get grazed. And back over here near Dover, we have gusty winds, especially southeast. This is past you, Dover. Your severe weather threat is mostly over. Let's go and get to reflectivity. Or no, sorry. It is right on top of you. Big Rock. That's what I was thinking about. It is mainly past, just some lightning and some moderate to heavy rain now. Ooh, it's one community right here. One community. Guys, don't give me a second. I'm gonna do something really quickly. Sorry, I'm looking up. Again, as we were watching this this line of storms slowly dive south as they have been able to maintain strength. And this should, at this point, I'm feeling confident to say is our severe weather threat, especially later into the 4 a.m. should um should maintain. Like in this. Again, as we're just watching this cell, these just, I don't know why I keep saying cell, this just a line just slowly drops south. slowly drop south. Main threat, especially over this Nashville area, is gusty winds, especially Ashland City, as we're looking at again just around 40 to 50 mph gusts. Somewhat up, could get up to 60, as that is what the cell or line is currently warned for. Uh, 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 uh. Oh, what's a storm? A storm is a storm, man. I don't know what else do you want me to say? A storm. Heavy rain. I'm just gonna give you what can typically come with a storm. Heavy rain, a little bit of lightning sometimes, and gusty winds, especially in this case. Especially well with these storms, a lot of thunder, lightning is likely, again gusty winds. At this point, I think it's fair enough to say our strongest winds are right over southwest of Dover, moving towards I'm not sure I'd say Tennessee Ridge, as that is just diving southwest of Tennessee Ridge, east of Big Sandy. Those are our most damaging winds right now. And then over with this section of the line, um, yeah, over with this section of the line, we have just gusty winds along this front near Ashland City, Van Leer, Charlotte, moving into Whitesbluff, Kingston Springs, Pegram. Again, these storms are just tossing out lightning. Oh my gosh, bro. Anyways, again, is we're just this is such a slow thing, and we have actually brand new special weather statement issued for 31 minutes, dropping. Mainly now with these cells, as this is our main threat. These is a cell, especially within Middle Tennessee, we are watching. It's Ashland City cell. It's again a broad area of damaging winds, just a very broad area. Just throughout, as you can see, I'm gonna remap this out. Remap this out. to make it look like that is our biggest portion of damaging winds at this moment. Yeah. Very just kind of broad area of the potential for damaging winds. Remap this out, put this in motion. It's kind of moving like this. So currently, main area is Ashland City, Van Leer, Sladen, moving into Charlotte as it is basically on top of Charlotte or dropping south at this point, and impacting Dixon, White Bluff, Kingston Springs, Pegram, Tennessee City, Bellevue over the next 20 minutes. 10 to 15 minutes. This warning goes for another 29, but honestly, it looks like this like line is sped up. Sped up a little bit. As you can kind of see the gusty, this again. Yeah, again, just this kind of outflow boundary, this boundary right now. Right over this air. Right over is again right what I drew. Right here. This is again pushing. This could have a pretty gnarly shelf cloud on it if I'm being honest. See if we can find any pictures of it. Obviously can't pull it up, but I would love to get some confirmation on if this is actually happening. Or if there's really a threat with this. Again, we're just watching this. This is our really main threat right here. All just down this line. Not entirely into Tennessee Ridge, as you could see over Dixon, Van Leer, Charlotte, Ashland City, over into Nashville, Lakewood, Donelson. Again, just intense lightning coming down with these cells as this is again just pushing south as again we're just looking at intense lightning out of these cells. Hmm. Very. We're just again just kind of sitting here waiting. See as this slowly pushes its way out. As I think this was noted by someone, but the echo tops again, they've been on the decrease over the past little bit. Well, this has been on the increase. Let's go ahead and actually switch to KOHX so we have this. So you can see they're cooling, which is kind of a sign, except for this part. This is increasing. Not really increasing, but kind of staying steady. 50,000 feet, 51,000 feet. Yeah, our severe warning out here now down out to the west with Henry County has been allowed to expire as they've canceled it early. Paris, you're in the clear now, not even anything on it. Yeah, Tennessee Ridge again, still in the special weather statement. But honestly, these storms look to be on the weakening trend, which is a good sign, as this is going to take up much of the energy, especially out towards our western counties, much of these energy for later storms tonight. Wow, I'm still amazed, man. Paducah, man. Paducah finds a way to amaze me no matter what situation it is. Yet again, another severe warn cell. This could become a problem back over here, this kind of training of cells, especially near Jasper. No, that's not what we're covering, but still a little bit interesting. Again, we're just watching this boundary. Again, just this outflow boundary out through here, likely extending somewhat farther. Severe thunderstorm warning still remains in effect for 23 minutes as this storm is just slowly moving. What's its speed? I mean, it has to be going 45. It is not going 45. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm kind of tripping, but yet again, just watching this slowly drop to ourselves. Looking for more information on these cells as I get cells, these lines. I don't know why I'm going to keep saying cells. Again, just a good estimate along these cells. Just seeing these gusty ones, especially along the outflow boundary. Especially over here, I wonder. Gusty ones. They cut off the northern portion of this warning. We still have the southern portion, but I believed it the point it included Clarksville, Springfield, White, not over to White House, but over near that area. Yet again, you can kind of see the storm just slowly weakening. Up here when it was really severe warned. See, it was producing more lightning, especially on this side, but this side has kind of been cut off over here, which is interesting. This could be some gusty winds reaching the surface, although we're not looking at the best radar right now, but if we're looking at pockets of wind, could see some gusty winds again, 50, 60 miles an hour. This is a gusting 60 right on the dot. Did kind of just cherry pick one, but again, just all throughout, just like see the difference in coloring on this velocity. You have different, like, kind of Spots of gusty winds over here. And we're just looking at these small pockets of gustier winds. All of this could be gusty around here, but we have these certain pockets near Pegram, Kingston Springs, White Bluff, especially over Sam's Creek Road, dropping again to the south. Honestly, I am a little bit surprised they have kept this portion of the severe. But this is really your main threats for damaging winds at this time and moving into the near future. They have gone ahead and extended a special weather statement out over in Paris and Henry County. They have gone ahead and done that. Again, 40 miles an hour on this one. I'm assuming 40 with this one, expiring 18 minutes. Far western one, another also 18 minutes. So all these are expiring at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. These are also on the weakening trend as it looks. Again, you can kind of just see kind of on the weakening trend as you can see they're producing more lightning. Again, we're just still watching this line as our outflow boundary up here is kind of fizzled out. So let's see. I'm gonna try and look and see if we have any good pictures out there from anybody. These cells. 10 minutes ago, James Fetta said the shelf looms. Yeah, there seems to be a beautiful shelf cloud, especially along this. So definitely something to watch. I would love to go out and watch it, but my coverage is just over here. It's just really bad and filled with trees. So it's pretty hard for me to watch. Wouldn't be surprised if this severe warning doesn't get extended south past this for something like this. If I had to guess, just something like that. Probably a little bit farther. Again, just still watching this line. Staying consistent with our what we've been thinking here. Line just continues to slowly drop. 14 minutes left on this severe warning. Um, yeah, 14 minutes left on this severe warning. Definitely something interesting to watch. Again, we're just looking along this right over Kingston Springs, right over Pegram right now, White Bluff, heading close to Bellevue, nearing Dixon. I expect Dixon within the next 10 minutes. These non-severe warn stalls still have decent winds on them. Waverly, Gorman, McEwen, Tennessee City. I'd expect that, and also around the next 10 minutes, Camden, Brewston, right over Big Standy, Aaron, and Tennessee Ridge are right in the middle of it. Van Leer, Charlotte, and Pegram. And we're just watching this slowly progress. Well, interested. I don't think this is doing anything, but this kind of leading appendage right here looks a little interesting. Getting right over Kingston Springs, Pegram, heading into White Bluff, basically on top of White Bluff, on top of Charlotte, Van Leer. Again, Ashland City's on the back edge, Sladen, Aaron's nearing the back edge, Cumberland City's done, Dover, you're done, Buchanan, Paris, it's going to be right on top of you. Hendersonville, Ashland City, Sladen, Cumberland City, Pleasant View, Clarksville, White House, Springfield, Guthrie. All these areas are really in the all clear at this point, as I'm not really our atmosphere is pretty worked over at this point, so we shouldn't really have an issue with later storms, although it is still definitely something to watch at this point. As we keep watching and I'll go live if needed. As our severe thunderstorm warning at this point currently continues for 10 more minutes. Strongest part of the storm, especially this line, looks to be right west of Bellevue near Kingston Pegram. White Bluff, again, just anywhere in this warning, gusty winds are possible, 50 to 60 miles an hour. This is currently warned for 60. Hail, not really a threat with this, under 3/4 of an inch. So we're finally starting to hear light thunder at my place. 9 minutes left on this warning. I wouldn't be surprised if this gets extended to look something like this, but farther south. I wouldn't really expect it. Hold on, let me draw what I think the next warning could look like if they do reissue one, which I don't know if they will. Something like that. And this part right here looks interesting. Just all throughout this line, gusty winds are possible. If this warning does not get reissued or extended further down the line, I do believe we will be ending the live stream pretty soon at this point. I would not expect these storms. I mean, they could get stronger, and that's something to watch. But we will see. Would like to go and take a look at the latest HRRR, see what it's showing. Okay. HRRR believes we are done once this line moves through. HRRR again does believe we are done once this line moves through. And I think it is just a few hours behind. Cast hour. Yeah. Let's take a look, actually. We're gonna take a look at this. Yeah, it believes we are done with the severe threat tonight. I do agree with this again, as I think our atmosphere is just pretty worked over. One again, especially once these storms pass, this like line passes, I think our atmosphere should mostly be worked over by that point. The strongest part of this storm now looks to be over White Bluff, Charlotte, Van Leer, Dixon, right on top of Dixon, right moving into Burns, Tennessee City. 6 minutes left on this warning. Next part of the storm, if it stays severe, I mean, it's going to hit you no matter what, but if it is severe, it'll be Bon Aqua, Fairview, down to Centerville, Lobelville, Holiday, Clarksburg, Huntington, Wildersville, Lexington, Parsons. Those are currently the strongest portions of the storms right now. But again, we're just still watching this boundary slowly. It hasn't fully caught up as this is just still again dropping south. Still dropping south. again, this is our severe thunderstorm watch still in effect until 1 a.m. This severe thunderstorm warning expiring in 5 minutes. Nothing yet on if it is going to be extended or not. It looks to be moving outside of the warning box, so just over near Dixon, this like part near here, near Burns, southeast of Burns, looks the most interesting and the strongest at this point. It's expected to expire in 4 minutes. Yeah. All right. Our brand new, um, getting a special weather statement now extending south from this warning really looks to be about looks to be like this. That is the worst strong of all time. But that's what our special weather's exactly like that. So special weather statement, we're gonna end stream very soon. Um, Waverly, McEwen, Dixon, Fairview, Bonacqua, Centerville, Lobelville, Franklin, Spring Hill, now in the White Bluff, Kingston Springs, Bellevue, now right in the brand new special weather statement. As this line is slowly shifting south, it has significantly weakened over the past little bit. I'm going to go ahead and end stream. Thank you guys for watching. I know it hasn't been many of you guys, but this has definitely been a fun first thing for me. This has been my first stream, so I'm excited to continue to hopefully do this in the future, and thank you guys for tuning in.